I've had people ask, how come it took you 15 years to win your first NCAA? And I said, I'm a slow learner. But you see, once I learn something, I have it down pretty good.
Is it growing?
Yeah, we have over 100 million buyers visiting our site, shopping our site every day.
Who here has been rejected by a girl or a guy before? And if you don't raise your hands, I'm calling you a liar.
Welcome, Jack Ma.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to talk about how many times he tried and failed and what kept him going.
So I know how tough it was when I was a kid. I said, everything's possible. Now, if you don't do it, nothing's possible. If you try to do it, at least you have the hope.
You tried to get into 3 colleges. Each time they rejected you.
No, I tried. There's examination that young people, if you want to go university, you have to take the examinations. So I failed 3 times. I had a lot of fail. I failed for funny things that I failed a key primary school test for 2 times, and I failed 3 times for the middle schools, and you will never believe in Hangzhou, my city, there's only 1 middle school that lasts only 1 year. It was changed from primary school to middle school because our graduates of our school, no middle school accept us because we were too bad. They would become a middle school. Before for 3 years I tried filling the universities. So I applied jobs 30 times, got rejected. I went for a police, they said, no, you're not good. I went to even the KFC. When KFC come to China, come to my city, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only one guy. And we went for police. 5 people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that I received it. So to me, being turned down, rejected. Oh, by the way, I told you that I applied for Harvard for 10 times, rejected. I know I'll be rejected. I just don't want to say that.
Yeah, sorry now. Life is a testament to the idea that nothing is impossible. That if somebody says no, you say it's just the beginning. Where does that come from?
See, a lot of people think that failure is a step backward. No. Failure is a step forward in the right direction. Every time you fail, you learn something from it. You gain something from it. You feel less anxiety when you're doing it again. You want to think that's a step backward? That's progress in every sense of the word.
With 43. Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan. Open. Chicago with the lead. Timeout, Utah. 5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan running on fumes with 45 points.
At the end of the game, you got to get it out of his hands. Jordan frees himself up for a clean look. The greatest thing about Jordan is he has all the tricks. That's why it's so difficult to guard him.
If that's the last image of Michael Jordan, how magnificent is it?
I don't think you can put it into words, Bob. I mean, what he's done here in this fourth period.
They go out in 6. Stockton. Harper's on him. Behind the screen. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their 2nd three-peat. Jackson and Jordan, perhaps for the last time.
Tonight, you gave one of the singular performances in the history of the NBA Finals. 1998 NBA Finals MVP, Michael Jordan.
"9,000 missed shots." Where he has failed before? More than once? Who here does not like failing? Well, no buzzword gets more attention or is more widely desired than the word success. People are spending hours, months, years in the search for success. The reality is, not all achieve it, or at least not all persist long enough to achieve it, because of one fundamental element of success: failure. All of you have raised your hands. All of you have failed before. I have failed many times before. And that is a fundamental part of success. The question then is, which one is greater? My desire to succeed or my fear to fail? I wish to discuss 3 principles today that, if applied, will impact our lives now and forever. Number 1, don't quit too early. Most obstacles we face are here to test our character, not to stop us. Who here has heard of NCAA coach John Wooden?
UCLA continues its relentless attack. Shackelford's 22nd point of the night ends the scoring. Once more, John Wooden's style of play was being executed in textbook fashion.
Who's the epitome of a great coach and a great person? John Wooden.
He was a great mentor to me, and it wasn't just about basketball, it was about life.
I think more than learning from his pyramid, I just learned from how he behaved.
I had 2 great mentors in my life, my own father and my coach, Coach Wooden.
John Wooden's genius had been extended for another season. UCLA had won its 5th consecutive national championship. It's a record which appears virtually unbreakable.
As great of a basketball coach as he was, I think you're missing it if you look solely at that.
Yeah, they thought he was teaching basketball, but he was basically teaching the fundamentals of life.
I realized immediately upon joining the NBA that everything he had talked about for all those years was absolutely true.
As Wooden enters the playing floor, he receives a standing ovation from an overflow crowd.
I think his values will stand up forever.
You know, all the things that you're taught growing up, to me, I was able to bring it all back to the pyramid.
The pyramid became who I am.
The essence of the pyramid is reach for your potential.
If any single human being on the planet really embraced it, it would make them the best that they could be.
I tell each team each year that they must establish their own identity, that nothing that has happened in the past can have any bearing at all on what's going to happen to this particular team. The only thing that can affect the result is what they do each day in practice.
In his mind, if one of my nuggets could teach somebody else and maybe save somebody some heartache or enhance somebody's day, then teaching is the best profession ever.
And John Wooden will close one of collegiate sports' most outstanding careers with his 10th championship in 12 years.
I've had people ask, how come it took you 15 years to win your first NCAA? And I said, I'm a slow learner. But you see, once I learn something, I have it down pretty good.
John Wooden's perhaps the greatest college basketball coach in the history of the world. He has won 12 championships, 11 of which were consecutive titles. the true personification of success, both on and off the court. But most people don't spend any time trying to understand what happened to John Wooden in his career before all that success. He went 16 years without winning anything. Now think about that. 16 years and no titles, then 12 years and 11 titles. Many people would call phase one of his career a failure, but he called it preparation. A common excuse that I think all of you will be able to relate to, that we often use is when something goes wrong is, well, it didn't work out, thus it's just not meant to be, right? And we usually stop right there. But that's not how life works most of the time. I remember learning a lesson from a professor in California. He said, get in line and stay in line. Don't quit too early. Number 2, there's no such thing as failure. If you learned a lesson and gave your best, you succeeded. Have you thought of that before? Because we usually measure failure or success by the outcome, not by the effort. But if you've given your best, you succeeded. Robert Kiyosaki put it well when he said, sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. And we usually, when we win, we tend to party, right? But when we lose, we tend to ponder. I have a professor at BYU who has taught me a principle that at first sounded very uncomfortable. He said, and I hope my boss is not here to hear this. He said, Eduardo, go out there, get a job, get paid to make mistakes, then go do your own thing. Right? So in his perspective, failure is a vehicle, a friend, not an enemy. It's a connecting point leading us to success. In other words, the faster I fail, the faster I learn, the faster I learn, the faster I succeed. So maybe the lesson here is go and fail as fast as you can. Just don't quote me on this. Right? Just last year, during the recruiting season, I was trying to find an internship. It's a big battle finding an internship. I had 16 interviews locked in. I was sure I was going to get an offer. But after all those 16 interviews, I got no offers. I was frustrated and super discouraged. But then my father, who is in the audience today, was wise enough to come up to me and lift my vision and said, son, you've lost a few battles, but the war is still on. This is part of the process. All the 16 interviews are going to help you find what's best for you. Just keep giving your best effort. 2 days later, I had my 17th interview and got the offer. There's no such thing as failure. Number 3, the past does not equal the future. Who here has been rejected by a girl or a guy before? And if you don't raise your hands, I'm calling you a liar. Well, a lot of people have not raised their hands. I'm surprised. I'll raise both. Well, all of us have, but the tragedy of this experience is not the experience itself. It's the meaning that we usually take home with us. Because I was rejected then, I'll be rejected again. The past will equal the future. Perfect formula for misery. The past does not equal the future. Tony Robbins, one of the greatest teachers that I know, has taught this principle in a marvelous way. He said, and if you're going to take anything home from my talk, take this principle. The only thing that keeps us from getting what we want is the story we keep telling ourselves about why we can't have it. The only thing that keeps us from getting what we want is the story we keep telling ourselves about why we can't have it. Reality is, now is our reality. We can create our own story. We're all great storytellers. We have a blank page in front of us every day to create a story based on our now truth, not on our past truth. I hope these 3 principles have been beneficial to you today. Don't quit too early. There's no such thing as failure. The past does not equal the future. And next time when you're facing challenges, all of us, which will surely come to test our character, maybe remember the words of Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player of all history. I failed over and over and over in my life. That's why I succeed. Thank you.